covert influence, which is what we're talking about here, the idea that there's a revolution of any type and that there's some effort to shape that revolution for some sort of outcome, that's influencing. So, and then doing so without being caught would be covert influence. One of the fundamental truths of covert influence is that you don't create something out of nothing. It's too high risk, it's too expensive.
You stoke the flames.
You have to stoke a flame that's already there, right? So there has to, even if it's just an ember, there has to be something already there. And then all you do is you add fuel to the fire. The United States has been an expert in covert influence long before we were even the United States, sure. Right? Back when we were still just colonies.
I'm sure this goes back to the beginning of empires. I mean, Roman Empire.
Absolutely.
I mean,
this goes back to Egypt, right? Yeah. Ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
So the most efficient and most effective way to carry out covert influence is to find two sides that are already in conflict and then feed them both simultaneously, because what's going to happen is one of the two flames will gain popularity and it will grow on its own. You don't have to be vested in one outcome or the other. You just have to be vested in the chaos and the change that's guaranteed to come because of the outcome. So Arab Spring is a fantastic example. We didn't need to have a specific outcome that we wanted. We just needed to contribute to the narrative about the Arab Spring. And here's what's fascinating about the United States. We contribute to the narrative without it even being intentionally collected and derived from the US government, because our media is a profit-oriented organization, right? So media is trying to make money as a business. Therefore, they will speak like passionately alarmist phraseology, right? They will use words that instigate a response from their own user base. So now you're actively feeding the fire. If you just look at the headlines in Fox News and CNN, you are constantly seeing influence all the time. Just media narrative, trying to get people to click, but that rhetoric, it encourages more and more derision and division. That's essentially what covert influence is. The only difference is covert influence is done through a covert manner so that the hands of the US government can't be placed in there. So when you hear the CIA acknowledge that they were actively involved in however many of these, that means they're acknowledging that they participated in those. One of the things that people don't, do you know the purpose of the Green Berets, the US Army Green Berets, their special operations unit?
Not specifically, I guess.
Most people don't. The sole purpose of the Green Berets is to raise guerrilla indigenous forces to fight against the establishment. That's what the Green Berets do. So we have an entire, and that's public information. So if you know that we have specially trained special operators in the US Army whose exclusive job is to raise guerrilla forces, are you surprised at all to hear that the CIA is also involved in every revolution around the world?
Freedom! So fresh, so new. Freedom!